Hey everyone, welcome to prompt number 10. Can you believe I've done it? I've actually drugged this boring series on for 10 whole videos. Well, let's get into it. Yay, it's a double, and we have Medieval Goblet and King's Throne. It's disappointing because they are so related. However, hopefully I can come up with something not so expected. So let's get started. Before I got started sketching this one, I just took a few seconds to just sit down and think of an idea. Because like I said, Medieval Goblet and King's Throne were just so related that it just seemed really disappointed. I mean, throw me a bone here. How about a King's Throne and a clown or something? Like, make me come up with some weird character that's like a clown king. But no, we had to get Medieval Goblet and King's Throne. Oh gosh, I need to talk about my sketches. Okay, so when I thought for a second about what could possibly be unexpected about this combination, I thought, okay, where can you find a throne that is where a throne isn't normally found? So my first thought was, okay, underwater, and then maybe underwater there's mermaids, because, well, it would be boring to just have a king's throne and a goblet just sitting there underwater doing nothing. So I had to add some extras to make it a little more interesting. That's the challenge after all, right? So I came up with having a mermaid interact with this skeleton, and at first I just had her chilling with the skeleton, hanging out, and then I was just so sold with the idea that I was stuck with a mermaid interacting with the skeleton and a throne. So I played with a couple of positions she could be in, so maybe like playfully behind the throne, or maybe she was in the throne holding a skull. And I did want to kind of try a couple of more things, so I put a goblet upside down with a little mouse king inside of it. Or maybe the mermaid was wearing the goblet as a crown because, oh, it's like Ariel from Little Mermaid. She doesn't know what that is. Har har har. So I ended up using my original and very first sketch, which I have a bad habit of doing, but I think it was a good one. As you can see, I'm inking it a little bit. I had fun playing around with some small details on this one. I went a little crazy. Well, for me, crazy. Ornate objects are the death of me, so I had to kind of push myself to put a lot of detail into the throne itself because, well, I don't normally do things like that, and I got to start pushing myself, so I went for it. And I had a lot of fun adding these little eel guys all over it too. I thought that was really fun to just have not only the mermaid interacting with this throne and dead carcass, but also other fish, because there are other animals in the sea, and they eat things that are dead, and maybe they befriend the mermaid and they're pals. Who knows? Either way, they were a fun, cute little detail I like to add in there because they're just exploring and they're interacting with what's around them, and they're coming out of the eyeball and the skull, which was my favorite part to do. I actually started with the goblet, and I just thought maybe I would have her have a couple of fishy friends and they would be in the goblet and then maybe hanging around. But then I kind of got stuck with the eel because I thought they were really fun and spirally, and why not? So because I really copped out during the last prompt, I really wanted to push myself with the details on this one. So I pushed myself, and I don't think the results were too great. But you know what? With practice, they will one day, right? Yes. Oh God, help. So I really wanted to try to play with the details of this being underwater. So I wanted to play with the light reflecting on top of the water, and then the light coming down and reflecting on the sand, which you will see later. For now, let's look at this wonderful chest. Wow, isn't it pretty? The reason why I threw it in the corner was because I thought, well, why is there just a throne down here? I'm sure if there's a throne down here, there has to be some more stuff down here, right? So there's a little treasure chest detail in the corner. So here we are with the light shining onto the same detail that I talked about. It's a good attempt, but there are quite a few things wrong with it. Right off the bat, I knew I wasn't going to be putting this detail onto the characters because it was just not something I was wanting to risk on a full illustration. It is something that I would like to practice on, but I would like to practice on something more of like a sketch or just not something that's going to be a final illustration altogether. So I just didn't want to ruin something that I had put a lot of effort into already, and I am doing this for practice, but I need to practice my practices on practice pieces. You know what I'm saying? Okay, good. Moving on. So I painted the mermaid green, but I had this worry in the back of my head that she was going to look like Ariel because Ariel is the iconic mermaid and she's green and she has red hair, and I wanted to give her orange hair because it was going to be interacting with that blue ocean in the background. So internally I was having this huge debate in my mind about what to make her palette and what to make her body and what to make her hair color. And I really wanted to make it orange, I really did, but I really didn't want her to look like Ariel, and I was kind of afraid that this piece was also going to have too many colors mixed into it, because something I've been working on with my illustrations is working on just selecting a few colors to work around with and not having a whole mess of colors. And I think this one ended up pretty successful when it came to the colors, but it was something that was on the border of getting out of control. The throne I felt like had to be red because, I don't know, that's iconic, right? With her body being green, the red of the chair would complement it, and I just thought it was too perfect to pass up, so red it was. Plus, the only other regal color would be purple, and purple would be too similar to the blue ocean in the background, so it had to be red. My original plan with the skeleton was to add a lot of different algae and just dirtiness and grime to him, because he had been under the ocean for a while and I'm sure he had been getting gross and dirty and plants were growing on him. But once I removed the masking fluid, the pure white really popped from all the colors around it, and I couldn't bring myself to make him dirty. It would have been a nice detail to make the skeleton and the throne really dirty and having plants growing off of it, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. So here's my excuse. This mermaid loves him and she keeps him clean. Isn't that even more creepy? Leave a comment below. How do you think this king and his throne ended up all the way in the ocean? Did the mermaid murder him? Or maybe the skeleton is alive? Ooh. Well, there's another prompt done. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye!